You're looking at a live shot of our leader, this first stop of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series, a rookie, Jesse Wiggins, in the lead. Not predicted by too many people. And on some days, let's admit it, some tournaments you can say on the final day, I'll just check in later and make sure it's going according to predictions. Nobody can make a decent prediction today. It would be foolish to make a prediction. You need to stay with us for the next 6 hours, if at all possible, because who knows what's going to happen on the final championship day, 12 anglers in a tournament that is far, far from settled.
Oh, it's another big one. Get in the boat, yeah. Wow! Yes. Oh my God. He is the champion, ladies and gentlemen.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
All right, the first trophy of the year 2017 for the Bassmaster Elite Series going to be decided today. 8 hours of fishing on Cherokee Lake in East Tennessee. You've got 12 anglers out there who have fought their way through this thing. Some quite a few surprises in this lineup here. A strong lineup nonetheless. Speaks to the strength of the rookie crop here in 2017. Some new faces we're going to get real familiar with today. Tommy Sanders here with Mark Zona. I do a lot of dumb things, but I'm not going to make any predictions about today.
Oh, I don't think so. And the best part of that, Tommy, is you never know what will happen by the end of the day in so many different ways. This event.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Exactly. But the other side is, if you know, something you tipped off right there is if you would have said coming into this tournament that 2 true rookies on the Bassmaster Elite Series fighting for the lead really throughout the entire day yesterday. But looking at that right now and the leader, I guarantee you the leader's family, the Wiggins family right now is watching every minute of this. And here's what I want to see.
Okay.
Here's what I want to see. As of right now, he has done everything right.
Just by the numbers.
He has dominated in the opens. He holds himself with an unbelievable composure that very few anglers that we have covered, that we have ever seen. I just want to watch how he handles the first 2 hours on the water today.
Well, if that's so important, just because it's the final day, but because that's when he's been getting his work done traditionally. Yeah, you're right. If he's not able to get it going like he has for 3 days running here, what's going to happen?
And here's the other thing, gang. A lot of the guys that Wiggins is going up against today, they've got a rotation of areas, multiple spots trying to hit that rotation. Not the case for Jesse Wiggins. He is relying on one spot, and really it's one spot that he's only fished for 2 hours of each day.
A spot that's about the size of this studio, about what you see before us.
You know what he's saying? You guarantee you, and I know Davey's going to be with him here in a second. He is thinking all night long, you have got to be thinking to yourself, man, just be 5 more good ones in there. 5 more good ones, and I'll get on down the road.
All right. Jamie Hartman, right on his tail, ounces back. I mean, it pulled himself right back into this thing in the second half of yesterday.
And the other side is, in all honesty, Jamie probably ought to be in the lead right now in this tournament. He had one key stretch of bank, and it was one key stretch that we were watching probably midday yesterday. He had a largemouth stretch that he said, all of my bigger largemouth have come off this 150-yard stretch of bank. If I get bit, it's a good one. Unfortunately, he broke that fish off yesterday.
Now, Davey Hite's a whole lot smarter than I am. Maybe both of us combined. Both of us combined. Let's go to Davey Hite right now at the takeoff. We're going to take off here in about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And Davey, maybe you feel confident making a prediction out here. Davey, lay it out for us. What you got in your mind?
No, I'm not going to make a prediction, but if I had to, I would have to go with Jesse Wiggins. I mean, he has dominated the Open Series that he's fished, and he's dominated this tournament. He's led all 3 days, but some guys closed the gap on him some yesterday, and today's the day that you always look forward to in these elites. It's Sunday. It's all going to happen today. You've been catching them the first 2 hours of the day. You're going to bear down on them today, I'm sure, but what is it going to mean to get that first bite today?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. If I could just get one bite, everything goes back to normal, and I'm back in the game, and I just hope they're still in there this morning, and like you said, just try to get the first bite and get it started from there.
If you do go there, I mean, I always thought of this, and I don't want to mess with your head much, but do you have a plan because you caught every fish you weighed right there in one little area. Do you have a backup plan?
I've caught a few on a spinnerbait the first day of the tournament with it real windy and cloudy. So if I don't catch anything there in the morning or this morning, I'm going to go do that for a little bit. If that don't work, I'm probably just going to go look for some more deep stuff and just hope I find another glory hole.
Good deal. Well, you've made it happen the first 3 days. You can certainly got a great chance to do it today. We got another rookie right behind you. Second place. Never seen this happen. Let's go talk to Jamie Hartman for just a second. Good luck.
Still looking forward today, and got a lot of stuff in both. I've got one lead, so we have to get this get around. We're going to do that too.
Okay, Z, we're with Jamie Hartman. He has just been steady right behind the leader all week. Closed the gap some yesterday. Haven't talked to you all week, but you're right here. It's Sunday. It's your first Elite Series. Tell me what's going on.
It's a grind. I'm not gonna lie. I got 2 rods on a deck. That's all I use. All I do is keep switching colors up throughout the day and see what works. I don't know how many fish are left in that area. I'm basically in 3 different areas, but they're small. They're very confined deals, and if they keep replenishing throughout the day, I can catch them. But yesterday it took a long time for them to come back, so it didn't start out very well for me. So it's going to be a grind again today, but that's my mindset. If it happens the opposite way, awesome. If it doesn't, well, I'm going to keep my head down and see what I can do. I'm happy to be where I'm at.
So have you fished like this? You know, Jesse doesn't live very far from here. He came over here and pre-fished. Have you ever fished like this before? When I say like this, it's the finesse jig technique.
Perpetually, I am.
Drop shot. I'm from New York. We got the Great Lakes up there, Thousand Island region. That's what I'm used to. I know how to use my Lowrance electronics. That's all I do. Every single fish comes off of these right here. I see them, I drop on them, I work them, and they eat it. I can watch them eat it. Literally just watch them eat the bait. That's what I do up north. Same thing, drop shot. And I've never done this technique. I came down in December for, I think it was 11 days. Learn the lake, learn the technique, and just set myself up for this winter pattern, and that's all I did. I never fished the bank once. So,
all right, one last question real quick. You had to think about it last night. How's it going to feel if you win your first Elite Series tournament in your very first tournament?
Yeah, I think it was at that point when I decided I wasn't going to get any sleep last night. I sat back and looked at the leaderboard real quick just to see the weights, you know, and it hasn't hit me. Yeah, it's my first event. I'm a rookie. I went into it saying this is a club event. I mean, I literally did. I had to keep my nerves down. Everybody's got to find a way to keep the nerves down, you know. That's what I did. I just approached it as a club tournament every day.
Well, I promise you, if you win today, you're going to find out it's not a club tournament. Back to you, Tommy and Z.
Hey, Davey, real fast, we got to talk to Wiggins and Hartman right there, but I'll tell you, one of the most, to me, interesting stories that we've ever covered in the Bassmaster Elite Series is really the 3 days of Jacob Wheeler, who's, I don't know how to state this, but everything in some way, shape, or form has gone wrong for Jacob Wheeler in this tournament, Davey Hite. Everything has gone wrong out on the water, yet in some way, shape, or form, everything has gone so right. And he's still in the hunt to win this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't know if Davey's hearing us right now. You know, what do you make of that? I mean,
Sorry,
come on, this guy's.
This is one of the most bizarre
Davey, can you hear us?
situations in the history of bass fishing. But
I can now. Sorry, guys.
Davey, real fast, what I was saying was, if you looked at the history of Jacob Wheeler's week, everything has gone wrong on the water, and somehow, in a weird way, has ended up so incredibly right. Just talk about his week, if you can.
Today, because it obviously hasn't up till this point.
Man, it's been incredible. I looked at some of the live footage last night from yesterday, and it's amazing that he is in the position he's in. He's got a great chance to win this thing, and it's been chaotic all week. I mean, it has been one thing after the other. And I was thinking last night and this morning, if he has a clean day today and doesn't have issues and things distracting him, he might blow this thing out of the water, because I could never fish an event like he has and be in the position that he is after 3 days. No way.
Hey, that's the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Put other anglers in the Elite Series actually in the situations that, not the situation, not one situation, multiple situations that Wheeler's gone through, and it's like, hey, it's no big deal, man. Just punt. We're fine.
I think that's the way he rolls. I mean, I've never fished around him, but he looked very comfortable in his own skin being chaotic. I mean, I just think that's the way he rolls. We'll see. You know, this is first event of the year, but I think we're going to see a lot more of that from Jacob Wheeler.
Davey, let's say our top 4 guys are all within a typical keeper fish of one another on this lake right here. You go down maybe 4 or 5 other places, and they're all within 5 pounds of each other. What's the number that's too far away from the top to make it into that top spot by the end of the day?
I'm about like you said, Tommy. I think the top 4 definitely have a chance, any of those top 4, because you know, we talked about this just a little bit yesterday. If these smallmouth were normal and they were plump and fat and weighed as much as they did last year this time, then you could make up more ground. But most of these fish are kind of right in that little 210 to 3.5 pound. That's good ones, and it's just real hard to separate yourself. All week long, I've mentioned that if somebody can catch a big largemouth, that'd be a game changer. Anybody that's in the top 12 go catch a 6-pound largemouth, it'll change everything. I did notice on Jesse's deck today, he had a spinnerbait on, he had a jig on, he had a few things. That's why I asked him about that backup plan. To me, if I was in this event and the weather and everything's going on today, if I had a 13 to 15 pound limit, I'd go largemouth fishing.
Davey, talk about really the weather change that we're seeing today compared to the other 3 days.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The first 2 days, it was very, very cold in the morning. The first day, it was cold and windy. The second day, 22 degrees, sunny. Randall Tharp made his move on the largemouth that day. The smallmouth didn't seem to bite as good in the sun as they have in the cloudy days. Yesterday was mild and cloudy, light winds, but today the wind's supposed to blow more and rain. The big thing that I've learned about this lake, I think these warm nights actually hurt the smallmouth guys because those elvise don't seem to move up and move in as far. So you don't have that feeding period when the bait fish move back out. I was with Octafo yesterday, and he's back in a cove. And the first 2 days, they were farther back in the cove than yesterday. And yesterday, they were out like 200 yards closer to the main river, the main lake. Today, as warm as it was last night, it feels 60 degrees here this morning. That bait may not have moved in at all. If they have, they're probably not as far, and it might affect, you know, Jesse Wiggins, Octafo, a lot of those guys that I know are fishing the same way in those depressions. The more of that bait that moves up and stays in there, the more active those smallmouth are for a longer period of time. And it hasn't happened very good this year. That's why they smashed them so much here last year. And these warmer nights, I think, really hurt the bait fish moving in, and it makes it tougher, and those guys have a shorter window in the morning to catch those fish.
Davey, if everything goes down the way it went down yesterday, we're going to have a very, very tight finish. I mean neck and neck finish right at the finish line when we finish this day. The only ace that J.C. Wiggins may have up his sleeve is the fact that he has never fished a full day. He's quit work after 3 hours of fishing each and every day. If he were to keep fishing, if things go pretty much like they have the last 2 days, how much potentially could he upgrade his catch? I mean, how much more is there, provided he just keeps catching those smallmouth in that spot where he's fishing?
That's a great point, Tommy. You know, I've said that the first couple of days. One of the things that impressed me so much about Jesse early on is he's managed his fish like a veteran. He's a rookie, and he's managed his fish all week. And you hope to manage those fish and still have a shot on Sunday. He's managed his fish, and he's still leading the event. You know, I think he can catch 19 pounds just like he did the first day because he leaned on them more the first day than he has the last 2 days. I mean, I definitely think he can catch 19 pounds. And to be quite honest with you, if he catches 19 pounds again today, I think it's over.
Davey, thank you so much. We're going to be leaning on Davey Hite big time all day long, as we do, and that's a good guy to have out there to lean on. Let's go to our Humminbird lay of the lake. Cherokee Lake, once again, the first time the Elite Series has ever been here. About 30,000 acres, probably less than that because of the low level it's at right now, but it has proved to be a unique challenge, Marzone.
Exactly right, Tommy Sanders. You're looking at the dam right there. It's Brandon Polinick down on the bottom left, he's been hodgepodging around, mixing in a couple big largemouth every day. But Tommy Sanders, if you really look at how this entire tournament has transpired, you really have, here's the best way to put it, you have rookies against some of the best locals on the lake. That's Ott Defo right there, fishing a little transition bank. David Mullins a little bit closer to the main lake. And look, if you are not one of the locals, you had better have put your time in pre-practicing on this body of water. A lot of the guys that came down here and spent 1, 2, 3 weeks of pre-practice, they're here today.
Starting to show, absolutely. We're giving you a look of where these places are. Their fishing is really neat. That was Hartman we just saw right there, and that's the place where Jesse Wiggins has been doing his damage.
Exactly right. All it is an island pocket right off of the main river channel, and that stretch of the lake, that 3-mile stretch of the lake where the river channel makes the biggest sweeping bend, that has been where a lot of our anglers in the top 20, that's where they have focused on all week long. And what's interesting, David Mullen said, you'll know by the last day what the most productive 5-mile stretch is on this lake.
Good point right there. That's how they're sort of laying out right there. That puts them in perspective with the entire lake, a view of the entire lake there. And of course, the farthest south, probably to start the day, is going to be Jacob Wheeler.
No doubt about it. Jacob, and really the other side of Jacob Wheeler is he said he has graphed this entire lake. We got to talk about it a lot yesterday. But if you watched the strange doings,
we'll get into that
with Jacob Wheeler. Here's what was interesting at the end of the day yesterday when he was fishing with Dustin Connell. They were around him. The biggest ones that Wheeler caught yesterday, he caught later in the day as you fly up the lake right there. Seth Fighter fishing around a lot of those islands. Jamie Hartman's been really kind of concentrating on one area that he feels potentially is running out.
Yeah, keep flying up the lake here. We're taking a look at a lot. Oh, where these guys are great. Humminbird, that's the best humminbird lay of the lake ever. I feel like we're ready to go out there. We know how each spot looks. We know what else is coming up. Dave Mercer getting ready to let him go. But Dave, your thoughts quickly on what may or may not happen today before you have to send these guys out to fish.
What an incredible day it is here, guys. It's Championship Sunday for the first time in the 2017 season. Everybody jacked out here. What a day to make a move. Look out if you're Jesse Wiggins. I mean, it is warm. It's one of those days where you back your boat down the ramp and you know you are going to stomp them. But these guys are jacked, ready to get going. Are you guys ready to get this tournament going? We are all ready to get this going. But before we go any further, we're going to pass the mic over to Ott Defoe with our invocation, followed by our national anthem.
Thank you, Mercer. Bow with me, please. Lord, we thank you for this day. Lord, we pray for safety for all the anglers and all the spectators. Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to enjoy your creation. Lord, we pray that you would be with our veterans, our past and our present that are protecting our country, and allow us the great freedoms to come out here and fish for a living. Lord, you're just such a great God. You make such great things for us to enjoy, and we just give you all the glory for all those things and ask for forgiveness of our sins. Amen.
National anthem played,
yes, sir.
Invocation given, and we are ready to go. We got 12 guys foaming at the mouth waiting to get out there.
Exactly right, Tommy Sanders. About time to get out into our Rapala 5 Alive.
Yes,
let's call
sir.
it Rapala 5 Alive today,
Okay,
Tommy Sanders.
You made that up yesterday. I like that. Hey, take a look at Josh Bertrand. Great fisherman, great angler, come very close a great number of times in his relatively short time here on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Had a fantastic day, his best day yet at the tournament yesterday, knocking on the door of 18 pounds.
Well, he has definitely been a lion waiting in the weeds, but here's the hyena, my friend. Seth Fighter said, all I want is an opportunity to be within range of that leader on the final day. Well, he has definitely done it, sitting in fourth place, 50 pounds, 8 Bouncy.
Certainly been grinding it out. Boy, he has kept his head down through this entire tournament. Jacob Wheeler, like you said, the most up and down the roller coaster ride of the year so far.
You think?
Yeah. We'll get into his day yesterday because that is still something people are remarking about right now. And 17 pounds, 10 ounces on the day one, that's what put him in this position more than anything else.
You did not know him coming into this tournament. You do now. Jamie Hartman, kind of sort of from New York, has decided to be a road warrior.
Gypsy now.
Exactly right, my friend. Sitting in second place, strong tournament, 52 pounds even.
Watch out for Jamie Hartman. Getting to know him better with each passing hour here. Certainly we have gotten to know the biggest new star on the horizon, Jesse Wiggins from Cullman, Alabama, fishing in his 9th ever Bassmaster event. He's won 2 of his first 8 right now, so nothing less than a win will do for this young man who has absolutely played it by the numbers today. You can set your watch by his fish catches every morning.
No doubt about it, really. Here's what was amazing about his entire week is we've wanted to watch Jesse Wiggins fish all day long, but he has been done working every single day by 9:15.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
So what's your thoughts on that? How much could he gain if he kept fishing for the whole 8 hours of the day? Is there that much if he's catching those smallmouth? They're all the same.
Tommy, the only scary thing for him is exactly what Davey Hite said earlier. Davey Hite made the comment that he doesn't think these warm nights help those smallmouth that much, and they don't get the alewife and the bait fish pinned and moving. Look, here's the only way to put it. There is no way to sit here and break down and analyze and make up some goofy. They're either going to be there,
that's right,
or they're not.
The fish are going to decide this final day for sure.
If they're there, pretty good shot that's your champion at the end of the day.
All right, well, he was, the rest of the field did a good job of keeping up with him yesterday. We'll see how they do today. Again, we checked out our 5 live, or our 5 alive, our raffle of 5 live. They're heading out to their spots right now. Some of these guys don't have very far to go, so we could see fishing within, I would say, the next 5 or 6 minutes here. And some of these anglers.
We are starting off.
What?
We are. If you are just tuning into Bassmaster Live, definitely stay tuned for the next hour to hour and a half for the simple point that fireworks have started every single morning of this tournament so far. You know, you just never know what you'll see.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I say today, some days you might want to sleep in, check in a little later. I wouldn't let things go.
No.
Especially these first 2 hours. Then we'll get on to how critical the next 4 hours are.
But no joke. Really, the first 2 hours of competition has been so critical to be on what you always hear, the juice, your best area, because these smallmouth have bit right off the bat every single day.
Starting about 7:15, 7:20 each one of these mornings, and Jesse Wiggins, exactly an hour and 15 minutes later, all 3 days, has had his limit in the boat. Again, day 1, like you say, he was able to add later on in the day a big largemouth that bumped him up over 19.
And not only that, Tommy Sanders, if you ever wanted to be a Bassmaster camera guy, there's exactly verbatim what it feels like and looks. Well, I don't know if it feels like that.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of things to hold on to in the typical upper end competition fishing boat today for the passenger. The upper right camera's being run by Brian Mason, who has just been such a part of the development of all our coverage that we see of the Bassmaster. Certainly Bassmaster Live. I mean, he is part of history. It couldn't have been done without him. This is his last day. Covering Jesse Wiggins today, his last day with us. He's going to move on, do other things, and that's a great deal, but we will miss him so much.
Is it me that it's fate that he should be in the winner's boat, though? Am I right?
Yeah, if I was Jesse Wiggins, I'd be going,
Something that all these we won't talk about that a lot. These camera guys want to be in the winning boat.
Oh, definitely.
No doubt.
The worst sentence you could receive is in a boat with a guy who is not catching.
Oh, trust me, I know. I've been with one of those camera guys for 10 years. Sorry,
That was
Wes.
coming. Why did I set you up for that?
Sorry.
Did I even do that? Again, these guys are on the run now. All 12 are off and running, and we should have some guys fishing here very, very shortly. Guys in mid-lake are not far from the takeoff. And
What do you
Jacob
think?
Wheeler.
What do you think that young man is thinking right there? Just be in there. 5 more.
Oh, he knows he's going to know very, very soon kind of how his day may turn out. He said by his own admission, everyone he talked to yesterday, he told them, I'm doing the simplest thing in the world. I'm doing a very uncomplicated, straightforward,
C1.
cut and dry thing.
C1, drop out. That easy. The most, we talked about it when we did the Bassmaster television show yesterday a little bit. It is the oldest, most productive walleye fishing technique in the history of the fish being walleye.
With Jesse Wiggins again, as has been mentioned. Yeah, we thought would be there sooner. Yeah, as has been mentioned, he's already qualified for 2 Bassmaster Classics. Won himself a Bass Pro Shops Bassmaster Open each of the last 2 years. So he's qualified for this year's Classic and the 2018 Geico Bassmaster Classic. Jacob Wheeler's already, we understand, on his spot, getting set up, getting ready to go. He's got to sort of get everything in place. He'll be there for the first cast of the day. Will be fishing by himself till further notice.
Tommy. And we'll probably end up tackling that topic.
It was a wild day yesterday. Very, very strange. Some maybe for a lot of people, little known rules were kicked in, and
including us.
Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't say much about us, does it?
And there's the pocket right there. That has been the pocket that has led this event the entire week. Spectator boats waiting for Jesse Wiggins. How must he feel right now?
Oh my gosh. A few days ago, he was talking about how incredible it was just to have a camera on him, a Bassmaster camera.
Run him up.
We're going to try.
Run him up, you hound dog.
A 13-ounce lead over Jamie Hartman to start this day.
Lead got shaved a little bit yesterday. Taking a look at a first double box of the morning. Actually, it's not the first, Tommy Sanders. We had a triple box at the takeoff.
We sure did.
Looking at Seth Fighter, Jesse Wiggins, Championship Sunday, Bassmaster.
Live.
Thanks.
For these fellows we had a chance to watch yesterday. No reason to think they'll be doing anything different today.
At all.
Looking forward to seeing Josh Bertrand in action here.
A lot more wind this morning. This lake was really a sheet of glass for 90% of the day yesterday. And all of our deep anglers saying they wanted the wind.
Yeah.
Feels pretty good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a begging dude. Whoa. Begging dude. Begging dude. Oh yeah. Come here, baby. Come here. Stay on. Stay on. Come here. Stay on. Come here. Stay on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah, bud. Oh gosh. Barely in the edge of the lip. Getting the party started. Fatty.
Do we have a new leader?
We have a new leader now. Earliest as he's caught one.
No doubt.
By a large margin.
There's a guy that has really done most of his damage late every single day.
Not bad, Wes. See how I missed that fish the way I was fishing yesterday? See how I just barely had him hooked? Yep. I did a straight miss that fish with the setup I was using yesterday. I'm gapping all of them today. No more messing around.
This is fourth and final day, of course. If this is the first day you're joining us on Bassmaster Live, we'll just let you know for sure that basically all the guys will be following.
We'll be
pretty
doing
much
this.
everyone in the thing will be doing exactly the same
They will
thing.
all be doing this all day. You will stare at their back, and they will be staring at their grip. Wow, look at that right there.
Wow.
Bottom left-hand corner.
I don't know if those are bass, but I'm assuming they are. About 50 of them on this rock. They must all come up to see what that one was doing. This might be the first day I caught one before Wiggins did.
One thing that we
I don't see the bait yet.
definitely talked about earlier was how critical this first hour to 90 minutes will be for Wiggins. Not just for Wiggins, but really a lot of our smallmouth guys. The only guys that really have excelled late in the day have been Fighter and Wheeler. I'll put it like this. Anything Fighter and Wheeler catch early is a bonus.
Huge advantage.
Huge advantage. You did hear the comment from Wiggins that he has not seen any bait yet.
Come on, baby. There's the bait.
All right, never mind. I was manufacturing your own.
Sure. He might have made that comment, though.
It's like an hour before I've caught a bass any other day. Probably. I didn't go that far. My boat's faster than everybody else too, so. About a mile down the lake, we were boat one.
Seth Fighter got things underway earlier than he has struck in any other day of this tournament. Jesse Wiggins, cause for concern? Maybe not yet, but as the hours, as the minutes drag on, I should say, it's going to be maybe a different day for him. Things
Not
may be
only
different.
that, Jesse Wiggins going up against some pretty stiff competition. And the main thing, he's going up against one of the best smallmouth fishermen on earth, being Seth Fighter.
12 guys out there today. We're with 5 of them, the 5 on top. Just getting started with Bassmaster Live. We got 5.5 more hours of coverage coming your way.
The Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake is brought to you by Berkley, Hook, Humminbird, Mercury, Minn Kota, and by Nitro Boats.
Continually proven on the tournament trail, and with Skeeter owners everywhere, with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Gerald Swindle. Trip includes airfare, rental car, hotel, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat, Mercury engine, and Gerald's gear from Humminbird, Minn Kota, GoPro, and more. You, the winner of a valuable prize? Could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
Still in the first half hour of fishing here, the final day of this first Bassmaster Elite Series event of 2017 on Cherokee Lake here east of Knoxville, Tennessee. 12 guys out there today. Going to be following 5 of them very closely all morning, all day long. Take you all the way just about to weigh-in time. Someone's going to grab that trophy. Could it be one of the 2 rookies who start this day on top? Jesse Wiggins, upper right box there. Been so consistent, 16 pounds and 14 ounces each of the last 2 days.
Now, I got to give credit to Ott Defoe and David Mullins. Go figure with the knowledge they have on this lake. Every one of our locals said, they said, you will see some really, I'm talking about daggum stud largemouth the first 2 days of this tournament. To a T, all of them said, those will taper down by the last day. And that's why the smallmouth, there's just more consistency with average size.
The predictions about average size, the ones that got the most play, were generally right on here. You know, we said we'd have a couple of bags approaching 20 pounds, but generally, if you could catch 16 pounds a day, you'd be the guy on top.
You know what is really strange, though? Generally, this time of year, any of that region of Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, you do see a couple really big fish weighed in a 4-day span.
Smallmouth, big smallmouth.
Just even
big,
largemouth.
everything.
I'm talking 6 to 8-pound fish. Not seen that at all this week.
Well, you may have done it right there. Get ready.
The other side is a lot of these anglers have really, really leaned on these areas. And obviously the jig head minnow, or the domeki rig that everybody calls it around here, has been the most powerful weapon. But they've had to get tricky with them. They've had to, the changing colors,
backing off a little bit. They've really, really had to get more just tricked up as this tournament's gone along. It's that fighter lower left, the only guy who's on the board so far. Caught his probably earliest fish he's caught during the course of this tournament. Nice one, nice keeper to get his day started. That fighter who finished number 2 and number 1 in the last 2 events of last season involving the Bassmaster Elite Series.
They're down here, bud. They're down here. Here comes another one.
Jesse Wiggins' first bite of the day.
It's a good one. Yeah! 2 3/4.
Oh, that fish is so
Almost
mentally
get
big.
ready, but I was like, I better not. I don't want to jinx it. Had y'all worried, didn't I? Oh, I know. I was like, but I seen the shad and I'm like, there's still some in here. I don't know if there's as many, but there's still some in here. The shad's just as good, so that's a good sign. They're just gonna be harder to catch because I've messed with them.
Got a blog post in that Ike caught a fish on his first cast, 2 pounds 4 ounces. And Josh Bertrand has got 2 3-pounders on the board.
Yeah, and the other thing with Josh Bertrand and really Jamie Hartman is they're kind of in a little, when you get, the closer you get up to the bridge where it almost turns in, they're still fishing all main lake stuff, but that certain pocket of the lake is really our worst service as far as live coverage.
But otherwise, it's been stellar.
It's been great. Hey, Tommy, how about the TH Marine weather watch?
Just what I was thinking. What's the weather going to, Davey alluded to it. It's going to be a little, yet the trend continues here, going to be even warmer than it was yesterday. Rain expected, they were expecting a ton of rain and thunderstorms earlier in the week. I think maybe they backed off that just a little bit.
Well, whatever's here in Little Rock, it seems like it's heading straight that way. A humid feeling. High's going to get almost to 70 degrees today.
February in the South. Like you said the other day, you get all 4 seasons in February.
We have got all 4 seasons.
We had deep winter to start with. We started with we got some late spring after that. Autumn weather felt like on day 3, and now it's about summer.
Bass fishing weather today. Ooh. Nice, gentle breeze coming out of the southwest.
Showers are supposed to hit around noon.
Okay. TH Marine Weather Watch for you right there. Stay on top of it. We'll take a peep at the radar a little bit later.
Look at your leaders right there. Josh Bertrand, Jamie Hartman fishing a little further up lake than the rest of our leaders.
Obviously, we're having a little trouble getting the pictures of Josh Bertrand right now because of where he is. As you saw, he's our unofficial leader.
Comes another one. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Looked like a solid.
He's all messed up.
There we go.
First one all week. I'm gonna have to measure. I think he's gonna make it, but that's the first one all week. Yes. Yes, he does make it. All right, that's number one. It's a little guy, but he came out of nowhere. I've seen that yellow line just shoot right up there and eat it. It's quick, too. Well, he's just a little guy. He doesn't know that.
Davey Hartman may want to get rid of that one before the day is over, but it's nice to have one in the box.
Let's see. Before we get any further, I'm going to get this light off here.
Before the takeoff, he said the same thing that Jesse Wiggins just told us, that they're going to be harder to catch today. It's just inevitable.
No doubt. These guys have leaned on it. In case you're just kind of tuning in to Bassmaster Live,
all right, buddy.
Really what a lot of these guys have been fishing, if you look at your Lake Master mapping right there, you see those kind of, not the really dark blue line of the river channel, but those blue depressions. Look at that graph on the bottom left. Depressions off of deeper flats. That's really been the key. These depressions that go from whether it's 20 down to 35 or 25 down to 40. It's those typical wintertime depressions that multiple fish obviously just set up on in the morning, herd and pin a lot of the alewife in. But that's been one of the biggest keys, is a depression near a flat.
Sorry.
Everybody's starting to rise and shine today. If you're just joining us here, Jesse Wiggins, the guy in the upper right-hand box, started the day with a 13-ounce lead over Jamie Hartman.
A ton of bait. That's good.
Jesse's got one fish so far.
Smallmouth.
Was tearing that one off, didn't help. This might be a spot you just gotta, hit 5-6 times a day. Seems like right when you get there, it's boom, boom, but then they shut off really quick. And it's a really small spot, so it ain't like, everything's down there, just knowing exactly what's going on.
I ain't feeding. Probably fat all night.
5-6 times. Roll.
the look,
He is.
the
Come on.
thunder.
Come on.
Wes Miller, cameraman for Seth Fighter, having a time earlier this morning.
Gosh, yes. Something we learned about Seth Fighter when we watched him so carefully up in the Lacs last year is
go ahead.
He has a tendency to berate fish for being small.
He does.
He's hard
He
on
does.
them.
Hey, look, man, I spent quite a bit of time with Fighter.
You should
he
know.
does not. He has zero respect for a small bass.
There's no more greater crime against humanity a fish can commit than being small.
No doubt.
Ike has landed his second fish. About 4 pounds, 12 ounces.
Crazy there's that many of them.
We've got Wiggins, Bertrand, Hartman, and Iconelli on the board, unofficially now, by a bass track.
You know, they're all little separate entities. We're gonna roll. We'll move on down to the Seagull hole.
That's the big one. Need that one. Yep. Ain't big as I thought. 2.5. Oh yeah, I'll take him. Gotta wake them up a little bit. They're just wanting not to really eat. Gotta get a couple of them old bigs. Put up them old big ones.
Wiggins still a little behind schedule. The schedule he set the last few days, but he's getting back. He's catching up a little now. Coleman,
See,
Alabama.
the other side is we have become incredibly spoiled with Jesse Wiggins.
Oh,
this
sure,
week.
yeah.
Just for the simple fact that by this time every day, I mean, we're right about up to 15 pounds.
Anybody who's covering him is done at 10 o'clock.
There's a case of studio greed.
There always is. There was the timetable you just saw right there. First hour's always yielded 8 keepers for Jesse Wiggins. Still got 20 minutes to go before his first hour's up, though, so a lot can happen.
Interesting comment from Ron Moore.
Yeah. What do you call him now? You call him the Godfather.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's the Godfather.
Yeah.
Is Ron made the comment that all of the opens that Wiggins has won, he's never led going into the final day. He's always been the predator.
That's interesting.
This is the first time he's gone into a last day as your leader.
Here comes one. Eat it.
Gave you a little bit of info if you're a first-time Bass Live viewer this week. Today, if this is the first time you've joined us, everybody's going to be doing the same thing.
Yes. And right here is going to be the Yamaha Taste the Bait, Tommy. As it's known in these parts as the domeki rig, I'm going to simply call it, as you do too, we're going to call it a jig head minnow.
Yeah, always
Because
do.
all it is a small light wire, generally right around 3/8 ounce finesse jig. A very realistic jig head has been key here, just for as finicky as these fish have been. Whether you're using here's the best way to put it, just a small finessed fluke style soft plastic on the back end of it, generally 2.5 to 3 inches long, very small, very subtle. And it's been really all over the board what the guys have used for a trailer this week. One of them being the domeki Armor Shad, has been incredibly popular. That's the one that Jacob Wheeler's been throwing the entire event. But Wheeler has been adamant that the key has been the realistic jig head to get more bites in the
eyeball.
tournament.
He's always onto the eyeball.
And I'll be honest with you, I think that's spot on. That's not a goofy sales pitch. I think that is spot on. The more realistic you could get these rigs, the more bites.
Yeah, this is not something you're flashing by them. They have a chance to sit there and look at that for hours if they want to.
But that's been the whole setup. And another thing I think that was really cool was Randy Howell dropping us a text yesterday, because we made the comment, wow, there are so many phenomenal vertical fishermen that did not make our top 50 that you're like, really? Randy Howell said after he watched Bassmaster Live yesterday that he was 1,000% positive that a lot of the anglers that did not make the cut were not patient enough with the schools of fish that they were on. Just got in a hurry, because if you really watch the guys that we've covered, boy, they have saturated their areas.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, you get a warped sense of reality watching Jesse Wiggins every morning like we have, thinking it happens that fast. It doesn't really happen that fast for everyone.
Really, a lot of our guys just have made it look easy that we're covering.
Yeah.
Why don't we take in, slide on back up the lake from New York, rookie Jamie Hartman.
And just a great story. Angler from the Oneida, Syracuse area. Lots of success on the Bass Pro Shops.
Lives on the road now, as
lives
you say,
on the road.
gypsy style.
Gypsy.
That's right. Come on, new color. Come on, come eat it. Here he comes. We got it. Mmm. Mmm. Don't do it, bud. Don't do it. I'm not happy. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Yeah. Whew. Simple color on the same fish. I got back on that same fish, just change the color.
Again, Jamie Hartman kind of in the rough area for cell coverage, but
Right
a
on the
solid,
edge.
God, boy,
We'll take it, though.
Has to be right near 3 pounds, just under.
Almost twice the size of his first keeper there, so that's a good sign, a good trend.
Hey, and the other
Jamie
thing
Hartman.
where Jamie Hartman's fishing is, he's been kind of dividing a little bit of fish up with Keith Combs in this tournament. And Keith Combs having a,
good tournament. Yeah.
Unbelievable event.
Defoe and Randall Clark are on the
Good
board.
start. All day. All day.
That is only like the third actual cast we've seen. See, he was just getting a...
Yeah, I was just getting a tangle.
Yeah, he's solid 3.
Yeah.
And Mullins just landed a 2-pounder.
Come on, buddy. Oh, one swipe at it. That's all you're gonna give me? Here he comes. Come on.
You know what that music means, Tommy? Whoa, whoa.
Oh, no, we're going to stick with it. We got Jesse Wiggins all hooked up here. Fish number 3.
It's a big 3.5, 3. Three and a quarter.
Game on, Tommy Sanders.
Yeah,
Game on.
Whatever concerns Jesse Wiggins may have had, they're fading now. Oh, there's his pursuer right there. A good quick start for Seth Fighter as well. Jamie Hartman hanging in there, but Wiggins starting to inch away from the crowd, as he has done this time of day each and every day. There are 8 hours of fishing in this day, though, and a lot is going to happen. Just wrapping up our first hour of coverage, Bassmaster Live. Call your friends. Tell them to check this one out. You don't want to miss this final day on Cherokee Lake.
In a world where boring, soundless lures, where the norm comes a lure unlike any other, the fish-catching machine, Livingston Lures are the only lures featuring electronic baitfish sounds that call the fish. Tie one on today and experience the power of the fish-catching machine.
The competition is fierce and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at bassmasterfantasy.com.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Out of office?
Oh, man. Hi, this is Skeet.
Skeet, out of office?
Dude, don't be mad because I thought of it.
What?
I gotta go. I got someone on the other line. Go to teamgtfishing.com to check out my real job.
We're supposed to be working.
I am working.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Jesse Wiggins didn't have 12 pounds in 35 minutes, so we thought he was off track. But he's getting back on track very quickly here. Great keeper, third fish for Wiggins.
Exactly. We tend to do that every now and then, Tommy Sanders.
Get a little bit overwrought, you know.
Take a look at your leaders right there. Jacob Wheeler still kind of living down by the dam near our takeoff. Jesse Wiggins just catching that good, solid 3 1/4 pound fish right before break. Slide on the water right now. Seth Fighter. 2 fish in the boat?
1 fish.
1 fish?
1 fish, I think, for Fighter. But it was early. For him, it was early.
Begging. Stay on, baby. Stay on, baby. I ain't that big. Probably keep though. Even if he does, we gotta call him. He's a keeper. He's got to go though. Ain't winning no 100 grand with a fish like that. I'll take him for now, but he's not my favorite. I don't know how much time I should even spend in this area. Looking back at the day, I mean, I think I really only weighed 1 fish here. I caught 2 nice ones where we started and made 2 calls later in the day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know if the size is here, but I guess it's nice to get bites. I mean, I know I definitely weighed 1 here, but maybe 2 at best.
All day long, we're going Triton on the line with our man Davey Hite. Out there, the freedom to roam. He's going to move around, find the big stories where they're happening right now. I'm assuming, they didn't tell me where you were, Davey. I'm assuming you're out there with Jesse Wiggins. Is that right?
You bet I'm with Jesse Wiggins because he is the big story this week. He's been leading this thing since day one. And, you know, I talked to him this morning before takeoff, and I've talked all week. He's got one. Let's watch this. I've talked to him all week, and I've talked about how poised he is, but I could see a different Jesse Wiggins this morning. He wasn't overly nervous, but you could see it is set in that he realizes he could win his first Bassmaster Elite tournament. He just landed his 4th fish. He's let out a couple yells, yeah, and that sort of thing. He's really, really excited. I think it hit home last night that he could win this thing, and how awesome it'll be for the start of his career.
Davey is, as we look at fish number 4 for Jesse Wiggins, has his family shown up there yet? What's the situation?
I haven't seen him. You know, he came to the ramp this morning by himself and put his boat in by himself and all that. If they're here, they may have already been out on the water here at his glory hole, I'm going to call it, because it has been a glory hole for him. One thing, Z, that I've noticed he's doing this morning, as I've been watching these guys vertical fishing with the Finesse jig, you know, you can tell they kind of go on point when they see a fish on their graph getting close to their bait. You can see the bait and they actually see the fish swim up to the bait. And I've noticed that with Jesse. One thing that he has been doing, I've noticed more this morning than any other morning, he gives the rod a slow lift when you can tell he's looking at a fish, and then sometimes he just pops his rod tip.
Davey, you have won a slew of tournaments, big-time tournaments. Have you ever won a tournament spending 4 days in a little tiny single spot like this one right here?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we were in his boat at the Pickwick Dam.
At the dam at Pickwick, but he did a little running around there. He did a little snooping around, but have you ever just completely parked in one spot for 4 days?
No, I haven't, Tommy. You're right. I caught just a couple other fish in that event at another place. Caught like all but 3 in one spot, but I've never started on one spot and fished it all 4 days. It's truly incredible. I do want to mention, you know, there's a lot of spectators around here, and they've been so courteous, and that's something that had to be on his mind. It was always on my mind on the final day. What's going to happen if I go there and 20 people are fishing the spot that I've been fishing all week? These guys have been super courteous. They're giving him room, and I don't think anybody else has fished this spot before he gets here.
Davey, I hate to say it, but Tommy Sanders and myself, we have been a little bit rough on some of the spectators on the Tennessee River. Somehow this lake does meet the Tennessee River, and the spectators have been fantastic here comparatively to
Where does it transition?
Where is the transition of bad spectators?
Halfway down Chickamauga or something? Is that where it happened?
Well done.
I don't about halfway down Chickamauga, I guess, because Chickamauga is like the rest of the Tennessee River, it seems, unfortunately. But these folks really have been, and his worst nightmare has almost happened. I think it's helped his fishing because the wind's blown into this pocket all week, but it pushes spectators, and not knowingly they would get close or right on top of where he's fishing, but they haven't done that here this week.
Jesse Wiggins, Davey, he's a Smith Lake guy. I mean, he knows clear water, he knows deep water and everything like that. Why is it so many good anglers come from that one little corner of Alabama back over there?
You know, I was talking with some folks yesterday. The thing about the fishermen in Alabama, you have all the diversity. You have, you know, Guntersville with the shallow grass, and you Smith Lake, deep, clear. There's a lot of variety around the state of Alabama where so many good fishermen come from. A lot of parts of the country, you have certain techniques that work throughout a whole state, and not a lot of variety. But Alabama, in this area, Coleman, Alabama, around Guntersville, you know, all within about 3 or 4 hours here. You got every scenario you can imagine.
Davey, looking, and really, we don't know who Jesse Wiggins is. I mean, we don't know what his strengths are, what, you know, if there's any holes in his game. Obviously, the tournaments that he has won, he's very, very comfortable being fishing deeper, looking for those, like you said, looking for that one magic glory hole where he said this spot here reminded him so much of when he won down at the Harris Chain. How is this guy, do you know, or does anybody, as far as shallow water, because the rest of the season really turns into a shallow water dream.
It does, but you know, the wind that caught my eye with Jesse is when he won at Harris Chain. Yes, he was fishing deep for Florida, but that wind in Florida showed me that, you know, this guy has a lot of diversity in his game. And I talked to Gerald Swindle a little bit about him. He says he's the real deal. Everyone I've talked to about the kind of fisherman that Jesse Wiggins is has told me he's the real deal. Not just deep, shallow, in between, the whole deal.
Hey, Davey, I'm gonna switch subjects real quick. And this had hit me right before we went on air, and I was a little bit, I rough-talked Gerald Swindle, now that you brought him up. I rough-talked his beard a little bit, that it's actually becoming darker. And it is uncanny. Now hold on. I looked at a photo in the Marshall's photo gallery of Gerald Swindle, and he looks Like a younger Harold Allen.
Wow.
No, sorry.
Wait a minute.
Sorry.
The guy goes to the trouble of winning Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, and that's the reward for it right there?
I'm sorry.
Zona, you've been doing this a long time. You can get away with saying that kind of stuff. I'm new at this job. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to touch it.
Someone's got a shred of human decency left in here, and it's Davey Hite. That won't last.
No,
that won't last.
That will depreciate us.
Davey, thank you so much, man. Good stuff. I don't know whether you're going to stay with Jesse. He's got 5 minutes to get to knock out a limit in 1 hour here. It'd be interesting to see if he can actually pull it off 4 days in a row.
A younger Harold Allen.
Wow, where does that brain go? Thanks,
don't know.
Davey. We're gonna give Davies a little mercy here, for goodness sake, and go.
I'm sorry.
Back up to Jamie Hartman. Oh, there we go. Just moments ago.
They cannot get any closer to the bait than that. Holy cow.
David Mullins is the first to get a limit. It's about 12-12.
Yes. Another bait change, man. Color change. Not a giant, but he's a good one. That is crazy on the screen, buddy. I mean, they have to be sitting like that bait's got to be right there. I can see it right on their nose, and finally one ate it. There's another one, 2 of them. Whew, come on, buddy. Get down there.
Well, as close as these fish are in size, Seth Fighter hooked up. As close as these fish are in size of 2 3/4 to 3 1/4, it is going to be a horse race today. Big time.
Come on, baby.
Might not have said that 2 days ago, but sure got to say it today.
Smallmouth shootout. Somebody tweeted.
Yes, sir.
Hunter asking if the largemouth are going to come play like a tharp bag.
I just don't know that there's many guys left in our top. Good one right there for Seth Fighter. I don't know if there's many guys left in our top 12 that are focusing on him.
We got like 4 of these.
That's a good question. I'd like to know if there's anybody that made it here with predominantly largemouth.
Wiggle around. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Pooping. That's 2, Wes.
Two good ones. That's going to be about 5 pounds for Seth Fighter with 2 fish. That's a good start.
Come down and eat it. He's coming down with it. Looks like a giant.
3 fish, Seth Fighter.
Oh, 3.
Bite it.
Wes Miller, cameraman, helping us out right there.
It's the best start we've had yet, Wes. They're gonna smash them all day long. Provided I don't run out of minnows. Or jig heads.
Come on, baby.
That one. Look at him. Oh, he bit it too. Oh. Come on, bite it again.
Well, there's the look at it. You see those spaghetti marks, dead nuts on the bottom with bait next to it.
Like I can never like miss one and drop back down and get them.
James Overstreet, Tharp's your largemouth guy. Left with one rod on his deck, a flipping stick and a jig. There's a surprise.
Yeah. How big a boost is it for him to get in this top 12 today?
Oh, gosh.
As you look forward to the rest of the season.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I've kind of been grinding on everything I got. That one spot we started on this morning, it's literally like the size of the front deck of the boat. So I think, every fish kind of sees your bait and sees what's going on. They see a couple of their buddies get jerked on and they're like not having it anymore. But the rest of the spots I got are pretty big and I'm having to move around on them, and there's just little wolf packs and single fish spread all through them. So I've pretty much been grinding on all my spots pretty hard. But just that one spot this morning, so small, I gotta, like I said, when I drop my bait down there, they all see it. And when I reel their buddy up, they all see it, so. But good news is it's a real tiny spot. I can pull up, make one drop, and be on the juice. This feels like a big one, dude. It is. It's a big one. I don't know how good a hook I got in them though. My drag was kind of light when I lifted on him. He's punched. Come on, come on. Yeah. Slanky Tennessee smallmouth. Slanky. It's the best word to describe these fish. We're just gonna catch them all today and see what the best 5 weigh. Ain't no saving nothing today.
Fish number 4, Set Fighter.
See the standings, Josh Bertrand filled his limit and climbed up to second.
It's interesting what the difference today. Every day of this tournament that we've covered here in studio, Jesse Wiggins gets this massive lead the first hour and a half. Like he'll get a 10-pound lead on these guys, and then you watch them catch up as the day goes on. Today, little different vibes so far.
Mullins just called.
Was there a bass tracker update or something? Or is Mullins pulling in here? Got the full tilt. Come. Oh.
shout out to the marshals providing all their fish catches that we've received all week. Photos.
Got their own gallery now.
Following that the whole week. Fighter hooked up again.
Good one. He ain't that good. He's 5 though.
I don't know if these are the right fish, man.
We might have to go somewhere else. I mean, we're fishing for the win, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm better off fishing areas for less bites, but quality, because you ain't gonna do nothing with that thing. Nothing. That's 5 though. By 8:30. Yep. Feel like Wiggins now.
Got reports of everybody being on the board except for Jacob Wheeler. And Josh Bertrand had a bass track malfunction. He doesn't have a
Still
limit
missing
yet.
some,
Does
though.
not.
I don't like missing fish. Like I don't.
Double entry, I believe.
I feel like I'm messing up right now. I mean, there's a lot of fish here, but like I said yesterday, we realistically only weighed one here. Should just go sit on Old Big Fish Point all day. If I can catch 6 or 7 there, I'll have a sack.
Boy, you hear him thinking about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the fish like the way his stuff looks today. Why wouldn't he go where they're bigger?
He's going to pull the cord here in a minute.
I think you're exactly right. I think he's been talking himself into it for the last 15 minutes. There's a guy who's having a time today. A lot of fun today, you can tell. Jamie Hartman feeling good about his decision to commit to the Bassmaster Elite Series. That fighter with his fastest start of the week, by far a limit in the boat.
I'll tell you what, every day of this tournament to start out with, Cherokee shows up.
Cherokee has been fantastic. I think everybody would agree to that. Jesse Wiggins still hanging on to that lead, not by much. We'll be back with plenty more fishing yet to come on Bassmaster Live.
Continually proven on the tournament trail and with Skeeter owners everywhere with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy Save Fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy Save Fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S today. Since 1968, B.A.S.S has been serving bass fishing enthusiasts with information and tournament coverage that make you a better angler. When you sign up today, you'll join over 500,000 outdoorsmen who love bass fishing. With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S cap, plus more. Log on to Bassmaster.com to join Bass today.
That's what we after right there, boys.
Oh, yeah!
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes! Woo!
It's a big one. Giant.
Boom!
Dude, and I just got a hook in my hand. Right here. That's bad. Don't tell me, just do it. Like that.
Got it.
That's a big one, big one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, that makes me happy right there. That's a big one. Woo! What's going on here, man? What's up with that?
Yes. Yes. Come on, give me some, baby. Give me some.
Yes.
Those are the kind we need right there.
Yeah. Nice. Yes, sir. He's got it good. Get in here. Fine. Hell yeah. About time. Yes. There's a good one. There's a good one. That is a good one. Get in. Get in the boat, Big Daddy. That's a giant. That is a mega bass. Get her in the boat, boy.
Give me some of that camera, guy.
Yes. Yes.
Freaking giant. That's what we're looking for.
John. Yeah, baby. There he is. God almighty. Yeah. Pow. Boom. That's some live for you. Woo.
Big one. That's a 6.
Yes, sir. And yet. Got him. Big one. Big one. No, Billy hook. Woo!
Look at that fish right there. It's a chunk, baby.
Got him. Woo! 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 Woo!
What'd I just tell you? I said I can catch him. I know I can catch him.
Woo! Dang, that's a long time coming. Get in the boat. Yes!
Heck yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one. Ah! Oh, my goodness. That was a big one. Yeah.
Night fishing.
Yes! Woo-hoo! Yes! Oh, that's a $100,000 fish!
Wiley, South Carolina, Britt Myers! 5 pounds, 13 ounces! Britt Myers amasses him in front of his hometown crowd! Your champion, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Randall Thurm! 16 pounds and 2 ounces! The Honey Badger hammers him on Championship Sunday! Get loud for Takahiro Amore! 16 pounds, 10 ounces! Takahiro Amore, your champion! From Kalamazoo, Michigan, KVD, Kevin Van Dam! 21 pounds, 6 ounces! KVD gets it done with win number 21. The Hack Attack whacks him on Championship Sunday. Your champion, Greg Hackney. 12 pounds, 10 ounces. KVD gets it done. 19 pounds, 13 ounces. Justin Lucas lays the lumber to the Potomac River. 12 pounds and an ounce. Defoe is an Elite Series champion.
Fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
Bassmaster Elite Series, Bassmaster Live, coming to you today from the first stop of the year, Cherokee Lake, East Tennessee, just east of Knoxville. You know, we talk about at the end of the season, those Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year points get so important. The fact is, every day is equally important out here. You put as much value in it here at Cherokee Lake as you will at the end at St. Clair. And Jesse Williams, obviously, the guy who's right on top. Look at that. 3 newcomers, 2 genuine rookies leading the way here.
No doubt about it. Jesse Wiggins putting on a show so far this week. But really look at your shallow water bangers going into the rest of the season. Your Randall Tharps, like you said, have to be happy with their performance here. Ott Depot, a guy like Matt Herron, the rest of our schedule sets up very, very nice for.
Well, Matt Herron, contender for the last couple of years, definitely certainly come into his own here on the Bassmaster Elite. We all are. We all are. That's a fact.
Tommy,
Jesse Wiggins.
Moments ago, my friend.
Jesse Wiggins already a limit.
This happened right before we went back on. This was at break moments ago.
Well, you know, started out the day a little bit behind schedule, and he's been so absolutely, I mean, regular to the second with his fish catches earlier that there was a little bit of cause for concern. Maybe not on Jesse's part, but everyone else who's been tracking it, everyone who's covered him all week long. But he got back on track very quickly, puts the limit in the boat. And it's just not going to be that. If he catches 2 more like this one you see right here, I don't know. A little bit
bit of a trouble replaying that one for you. We'll get it fixed for you, though. Get back out on the water live.
They can watch live, watch everybody else, and watch me live. It's really cool.
That's a 3-pounder.
Jacob Wheeler on the lower right, probably our biggest supply.
I thought that was Wheeler and Dustin Connell on that rock up there. I'm sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
All right, we're going to have to get into that at some point. Yeah, just out there kind of watching the world go by on a Sunday morning.
They're just,
I mean, it was pretty warm yesterday, but there's no doubt that, you know, it got a lot warmer, and this is just, I mean, I don't know why these fish would just not absolutely destroy anything you threw today. You know, we pulled up on a place right here that I've caught a few of my fish on in the past few days, and there's, I think they're getting used to that jig head, the moon eye, and the little shad worm, and so I'm trying to, before I go to the juice, I'm trying to cast that swim bait in there and try to trick one of those good ones into biting before I pull up on top of them, because I've had a lot of them come up and nip at it and act weird, and you know, they should be biting. So just sometimes it's just a little bit different presentation that will trigger those fish into biting.
Wheeler still looking for his first keeper today. That's surprising, but he came on strong yesterday late, so don't rule him out by any. Here's this catch again. Jesse Wiggins.
This is what happened at break right here again. And this was fish number 5.
This
correct?
was number 5, as far as we know.
I don't know about 5. He's a 4, though. That's a good one, boys. Oh, my gosh. Please, baby. Oh, baby. I got her hooked good. Oh, it's the biggest one of the tournament. I don't even know what to do right now. I'm gonna try. That's for you, Mama. How about that right there now? Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Number 5, and it is the biggest one yet, 4-pounder. That's for you, Mama. Thank you.
Was eerily similar.
Dude, you almost caught it.
It's like we went back in time.
We did.
The biggest smallmouth I caught. God, there's a bunch on the depth finder right there, too. You daggum right.
Now you go to work. Relax and go to work.
Pressure's off now. Just go catch some more.
Yeah, I'm not daggum right. You're daggum
I gotta get some more
stud.
good ones. Oh. Maybe that
DGAS.
What's that?
DGAS.
DGAS. I'm talking about daggum Alabama stud. That was eerily similar to years ago. Kevin Van Dam on the Alabama River.
There's going to be some audio comparisons coming up later. I'm
just
predicting
saying,
that.
I'm not comparing Jesse Wiggins yet to a one Kevin Van Dam.
The audio does compare.
Yeah, the audio really compared right there. Oh, some daggum Alabama stud.
Did KVD win 3 of his first 9 bass events?
You're asking us?
Yeah.
Because you know the answer?
Rhetorical.
Was that Dick Seepeck trivia?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
yet.
I didn't know. I thought you were.
You want some?
You're jumping the gun here.
Don't jump the gun, bud.
Uh-oh.
When we unleash the Dick Seepeck trivia machine, it will be relentless.
Yeah, and I'll know.
Let me just say that.
And I'll know.
God, eat it, man.
As we mentioned, Just about every day, Derek Remitz was the first guy to win an Elite Series.
He had a big shout-out.
First event of the year.
Shout-out.
In his first ever
It's
event.
his first, yeah, his first event.
Elite
Yeah,
event.
Amistad. Football jig, Amistad.
It was his first, yeah.
Got to hang out with Derek Remitz a couple weeks ago.
Did you really?
Yep.
Really?
Doing awesome.
How's he
I
doing?
remember
Doing
watching
great.
it thinking, oh my God. It was like 8-pounder after 8-pounder.
Always was a joy to cover on the Elite Series.
All right now. Hey, what about
Salute.
right there? Come on now.
The Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Good guy.
We stepped away from the Elite Series. We lost a Minnesota guy, but we gained Seth Fighter, so it's a
Here's
zero-sum
what I
equation.
can tell you. Derek Remitz does not have a lack of work guiding on Gunnersville.
I doubt
Trust
that,
me.
yeah. I doubt
Yes.
that.
That was Fighter. Who was that? Oh, yeah. I got 2 in there that I need to get rid of. Or 3, really. I got 2 good ones. 2 that I'd like to, that I can keep, and I got to get rid of 3 of them.
Is that Brian Mason?
It's a long uphill battle, but
coaching
man, there's a
him up?
bunch in here. I just got to give them to bite. They're just, and my time's limited. They're just not wanting to bite right now. But if it's in Wiggins, I could care less, as long as they do bite eventually. He must be catching them. He's got him a good little following. Of course, though, man, he's like the brown fish master, dude. I'm like a Ricky Bobby compared to him. I just got lucky and found one good hole. Yeah. You're not first, you're last. But, dude, he's like, yeah, what'd he say this morning? He's going to Browntown and ain't coming back. That was hilarious. Zona's been to Browntown a few times. I've watched his shows. Zona lives in Browntown. Yep.
Again, Jesse Wiggins.
I caught him out yesterday and see what it looks like.
Only in his ninth, I repeat, Bassmaster event ever fished. Those are the ones he's participated in so far, and among those 8, already 2 wins right there.
That is a solid start to the rest of your life.
I would say 2 wins, 2 top 12.
Kidding me?
Come on, man. 9 events and 3 wins. That's a third of every
shut
event.
the front door.
What
man.
are you
serious? Wait, what?
Huh?
So he is going to potentially, now hold on, and I'm not going to crown him, but he is going to potentially win 3 of his last 4 events.
Yeah.
What?
There's another open this year on Smith Lake, too.
Wow.
Holy cow. He's got a classic coming up, too. I wonder if he's I
Run
want to
the
hear his
table,
take on that.
Tommy. He's going to run the table.
Going to run the table. Why not? Somebody's got to do it. You can't run the table if you don't win the first one.
Taken.
Back down to Jacob Wheeler's. We head west, southwest here on Cherokee Lake. And Jacob Wheeler, the surprise of the day. No keepers yet.
Doesn't have his buddy next to him there to.
Well, now. Could be something to that.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
What? Oh, no.
Sorry.
What is...
Oh yeah, it's a big one. I seen him on the graph. It looked like a dang big one. Stay away from the dang motor, boy. They don't have big and Bob. Yeah, good start right there. Dang big and right there. That's a good 3 and some change. Whew, we need him like that. Look how chunky that one is. Awesome. Let's see what we got here. All right, let me slide over here. Slide over this way. Actually, you're good. Let's go right here. We'll find out what it is. We got that all tracks on lockdown, so we're sitting right exactly on the same spot. 339. Good start. So 340, so almost it's a good one, close to 3.5 pounder. See, that's why you stay down towards the dam. You know, the only thing is, when I had one nip me right before that, and you can tell how big these suckers are by the thickness of the line on your Lawrence grass. It's a good one. I'm gonna put him on the, I'm gonna put him on the little side today. We're gonna need some more like that, or bigger.
Well, there's a fact you might want to take note of right there.
What's
Shared
that,
a boat
Tommy?
with Dustin Connell. Day 3 yesterday was one of the strangest days I think ever we've covered on Bassmaster. Just there is a rule out there.
Evidently,
there's a rule.
There is a rule.
Electrical problems, which started before the takeoff.
Battery problems.
Battery problems
All
for
right,
Jacob
guys,
Wheeler.
I'm gonna tell you real quick here. While we're just, we're starting off, that was the first fish of the morning, which is a little bit of a slow start. But basically this week, the whole thing, I mean, you see a lot of these guys fishing, there's 3 main deals. You have the points that are the most obvious thing, and that's always gonna play just because that's a great place to sage and everything else. Then you have the isolated rock piles along the flats. And that's something you want to have depth of water close by. If there's not a break close by and there's not a deep break close by, that doesn't play real well. And then last but not least, it's all about the holes or the pond dams. Those are the 3 things that you pretty much have to look for. Obviously, I'm looking for rock. And if you have like a hole that doesn't have any rock around it, then those smallmouth, that rock gives those smallmouth something to live on. So you have them, hey, he's gonna be on that dang rock right there, rather than, okay, if you pull up to a hole and you don't know where he's at. So it just helps you really eliminate a lot of it. And the fish are, the smallmouth are nomadic. They're gonna be on bait and they're gonna do a lot of different things. But the rock, it doesn't matter if you're fishing up north on Lake Champlain or you're fishing, down here on Lake Cherokee, smallmouth still love rock. It's simple as that. And that's a huge role, and those 3 things are the key to finding smallmouth on Cherokee Lake.
Good stuff. Tommy, I got something real quick again.
Yeah.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Sorry.
Oh, DC. Man, DC's an awesome dude. We fished the Opens against each other last year and both qualified out of the Southerns. And, it's sort of crazy. We've built that relationship and friendship through that. And yesterday I knew I had to call one of 3 people, and that was Mark Daniels, Adrian Avina, or Dustin Connell. And I fortunately pulled up on Dustin. He was like, hey, dude. I told him, I was like, man, I'm the SOL. Is there a possibility if I could jump in the boat with you? And per Bass rules, you're allowed to do that. Obviously, coming over from the FLW Tour, I wanted to learn, I wanted to know the rules backwards and forwards. I wanted to know them just as well as Trip Weldon knows them. And so I read them backwards and forwards and made sure I knew everything about it. So when something like that happens, you're able to make a good decision on the water and know what you need to do. And fortunately, Dustin came to the rescue and was able to fish the rest of the day and caught 2 of my best fish throughout the day with him. So it was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was the craziest thing ever.
Yeah.
Loved it, though.
And here's the other thing about this is, number one, I'd love to show the video of those 2 having a time, getting along. Here's the thing. Jacob Wheeler totally abided by the rules, whatever the rules might be.
No doubt.
Okay. Dustin Connell, I give him huge props.
I'm gonna go visit that sucker again. That's dang big in over there.
Oh, yeah.
That's dang fat line. That dang fat line about that thick. It wasn't, and the thing was, it wasn't green. It wasn't a striper. Them stripers are so thick that like, oh, there's one right behind me. Gotta turn around and see what he's up to.
Oh.
That's
and these two kids out here, I mean, Tommy, we talked about it. They had a T-I-M-E.
Absolutely good. Yeah, electrical problems, within his rights to call another angler, jump in and fish for the rest of the day. And here's what happens. Got in with Dustin Connell.
I'm fine. He knows how to do it. But he does not have sneaky holes. Hey, you wait. No, so you're trying to say he has a dot. I'm like, you ain't got no dot. You ain't got a dot on that. You ain't got a dot on that. There ain't no way you got a dot on that. You're crazy.
Hey, come on, man. Get off my hole.
Not your hole.
He's poaching my hole.
Yeah,
it is, too.
Yes, I did. No, you did not.
You don't know.
You do, too.
What? Jesse Wiggins hooked up. We're going to visit that.
We got a tweet yesterday saying that's kind of unfair advantage.
We're Such, is there any chance we can get the rule back up there real quick? That's one right there that more than likely not going to help Jesse Wiggins at all.
No.
Let's take a look at that rule. Here, there's a couple interesting things here, okay? Number one, more than likely I will get in trouble about this because this is my opinion. That is the most absurd rule I've ever seen in fishing. It starts with, Tommy, we talked about this earlier.
Sure. Yep,
check this out. In breakdown situations and with the marshal's permission.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. That we always talk about unfair advantages and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. But when you get in a schooling fish situation, like we're in here, or potentially a Kentucky lake when they're offshore, hey man, the longer you can keep a school fired, the better off you are. Bing bong.
Sure.
Peekaboo.
Another guy up there throwing.
Here's my only question is it true, I don't know if it is true, that after the event, those guys, did they have a sleepover and a pillow fight?
All right, now you're
going.
You've gone.
Sorry.
Step Brothers.
You go to my.
Yes. We need
practicing karate in the lobby of the hotel.
Stop.
Don't touch my drum.
Stay on and get in this boat. Stay on and get in this boat. Get your butt up here and get in this boat. Come on, dude. Quit jumping. Look at that one, dude. Look at that one. Come here, come here, come here. Yes! Look at that, dude. Look at that, dude. Oh. That's it right there, dude. Those are the ones. Those are the ones. Big and fat. Big and fat. It really don't matter. I ain't gonna weigh either one of these fish. I should just hook one, but let me hit that spot lock quick. Oop, watch her out. That's it, man. We're fishing for Wiggins today.
Seth Fighter, great day.
Gotta catch 50 of them.
Great start for Seth Fighter. Earlier than he's ever caught them all week, and now catching really good ones. Been the case, though, with Jesse Wiggins as well.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah! Number 5, and it is the biggest one yet, 4-pounder.
5 fish, so they're going to have to come after this guy. Somebody's got to make something happen big time if they want to get in the same rarefied air as Jesse Wiggins is. And folks, he's done it each and every day of this tournament. Doing everything he needs.
Trading blows.
Trading blows.
Trading blows big
Back
time.
and forth. Seth Fighter giving him the closest pursuit right now, but he's almost 5 pounds back. Jesse Wiggins definitely in control through the first 1/3 of this fishing day here. That means there's plenty of fishing, though, yet to come. Bassmaster Live, we got plenty more for you coming up. After we take a break, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake is brought to you by Shell Rotella, Yamaha, Triton Boats, Toyota, Power Pole, and by Skeeter Boats.
In a world where boring, soundless soundless lures, where the norm comes a lure unlike any other. The fish catching machine. Livingston lures are the only lures featuring electronic baitfish sounds that call the fish. Tie one on today and experience the power of the fish catching machine.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Gerald Swindle. Trip includes airfare, rental car, hotel, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat, Mercury engine, and Gerald's gear from Humminbird, Minn Kota, GoPro, and more. You, the winner of a valuable prize? Could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
What is this meeting about again?
Fishing! Took my boat, boom, jumped over it, and I caught a giant. It was like a whale.
29 pounds, baby!
That's the last time I danced on stage.
Wow. Chief Fishing Officer.
How do I get that job?
I don't know. Go to teamgtfishing.com to find out more about my real job.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Not even 2 hours into the fishing on this fourth and final day of the Bassmaster Elite Series Stop 1 for 2017 on Cherokee Lake here. 12 anglers have made it through the first 3 days. They're out there trying to get it done today, and our leader coming into today has done what he has done each and every day, jumped out to a substantial lead, almost 5 pounds, with almost 15 pounds in the boat already. Jesse Wiggins, that's his hand you see in the upper right.
Spent too much time fishing and not making money, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, growing up. Becoming a semi-responsible adult.
Is that going to add a little pressure to your fishing now that you've got a paper?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a pretty cheap house. It's nothing fancy. And my girlfriend's moving in with me. She's got a good job, so I think we'll be all right. I mean, my mortgage is going to cost me about the same as my rent at my buddy's basement, so you know, splitting it with my girlfriend and all.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And you're not far from Mille Lacs?
Quarter mile.
Nice.
Could probably feel the breeze off the ocean. And I'll be able to know exactly when the mayflies are hatching.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I'll call up Z and tell him to come on with it. That's like the funnest time to fish up there. Get your little hair jig and just catch 100 a day. It's crazy that 6 and 7 pound bass will swim around and eat little bugs that big all day. Only smallmouth. But walleyes do it too, I guess.
You won't need to call me.
I don't
be the
think
one
the
in the
largemouths
basement.
get on the mayfly bite that well.
you'll be making that payment.
Exactly.
That fighter talking about Mille Lacs, which we had our first Elite Series venture into last year, and man, it was everything you could hope for and more.
Has this been the best day so far on the water you've had?
I mean, my weight ain't as good right now as it was the first day, but you know, I think I'm just putting the pieces together day by day and making a little better calls today on where to start and where to go. And but you know, that don't mean nothing. I might not call the rest of the day either. But yeah, the first day I had a limit by 9:30, but they didn't. You know, I caught a few big fish after that. So definitely this is the most weight I've had at 9 o'clock, no doubt about it. But it really don't matter what you got at 9 o'clock. It matters what you got at 3 o'clock. You know. It's just nice having a limit and taking some pressure off, and it's gonna allow me to kind of, you know, if I was still sitting on 0 fish, I'd probably be over there on that little fish hole trying to get a limit, and now I got 6 hours sitting on big fish hole to catch 3. But this is all this is probably gonna be. It's just gonna be like a 1 fish spot every time I go by it. But I got stuff over here and stuff down there, and every time I run by it, I'm stopping on it and I'm gonna catch one. I mean, there's plenty of them down there. Like I said, they just they get wise quick on this spot.
I mean, it just seems like as much as I've done zone shows, it seems like smallmouth like that. You catch 1 or 2 and it just kind of.
Yeah. Sometimes. Begging. Oh yeah, begging, dude. Stay on. You come up here. Don't do that. Come up here. Come to Papa. Oh, man. Stay on, baby. Stay on, baby. Stay on, baby. Come here. Come up here. Come up here and get in this boat. Got him. Yes, dude. They're definitely, everyone's hooked a lot better with this setup. Heck yeah. Big time call. Let's go win this thing, Wes.
Do it, man.
Nice upgrade there for Seth. I misrepresented when we first came back from the break there. I said that he was 4 or 5 pounds back. His 5th fish had not registered on Bass Track at that point. He's 2.5 pounds back now, but probably a little less than that now with that call.
Feeling good, feeling great.
He's flowing, Tommy. He's flowing big time.
In every way. In every way.
I don't know if he's entered the spirit world, but he is at the door.
right there, I'd say.
Well, it goes back to what he told you. Seth is
gone.
Yeah.
Seth is not here anymore. He will not even refer to himself as Seth. He is the hyena that preys on wounded.
Yeah. Don't look in the basement for Seth.
Seth is gone now. As are the wheels on the show already. What time is it,
Well,
Such?
it's not about right, about that time.
We got some rain coming. You see that? It looks like it's raining down where we started that first day. Maybe it's haze. I don't know.
I hope it's haze.
What do you got to do if it starts raining?
Put a rain cover on this. It's in my green bag.
He caught a whole limit without when we didn't hear that. The dam just break?
There was an corporate email sent out last night. I was not allowed to behave like that until he got to a limit. I couldn't.
Trident on the line time. Dave Mercer is in Knoxville, Tennessee today. He's spending every day now, the last 2 days of this tournament, to get everything fired up, get them all launched in the morning. Dave, you got a schedule. I mean, you got to do that. You got to run all the way back to Knoxville. Are you now in town for good? You're in town for the rest of the duration. Is that right?
I have set up stakes, and I'm not moving anywhere until we decide who the champion of this event is. And it's going to be very interesting. When you think about it, we talk a lot of times about how different a tournament can change. There has been an incredible amount of changes happen in this tournament, and those changes are temperature. If you think about it, day 2 of this tournament at takeoff, it was 22 degrees. Today, at takeoff, it was, I think, mid-60s, supposed to get up to 71. We're talking about a 49-degree temperature swing, and that is pretty incredible. I mean, the fact that these guys can continue to catch fish, and the fact that Jesse Wiggins can continue to catch fish in that exact same spot under all these different conditions, it's totally amazing.
Hey, Dave, one thing that we were talking about is we have not seen, those giant lunkas throughout the week, the real big, 6 to 8 pound bass. With that being said, though, for all of those fluctuations in temperature and weather, and how has the lake been received from our anglers? Because from a television show aspect, it's been fantastic.
Our anglers love this body of water. Even the anglers that didn't make the cut, that seems to be the story that I keep hearing. I wish it was as good as they know it can be. I mean, it looks pretty good on Bassmaster Live, but as you said, but it can be a whole lot better. I think we kind of hit this one on a weird time. I mean, obviously we saw the monster weights that came from this lake last year, and the word for most anglers is I want another shot at it. I mean, my guest at 12:30, and it's going to be very interesting to see his take on it, because one of the foremost bottom anglers, one of the foremost graph anglers on tour, Brett Hite, is going to join me at 12:30. And when I talked to him this morning, he wants a do-over. I mean, watching Bassmaster Live, I'm sure you guys have heard it. I've heard it from a ton of anglers. People cannot believe how little these guys are moving their bait and just how they're catching the fish. And it'll be very interesting when we come back here to see how these anglers adjust and how different it becomes the next time.
Do you know, and this is a lot of questions that we got, and I guess here's one that I've thought about this entire tournament. Obviously the jig head minnow domeki rig thing has been so incredibly dominant throughout this tournament, and you hear about it really the last few years off of this lake and other nearby lakes. How are they caught here, Dave, and can you find this out, how they're caught here in the summertime with as big a population of smallmouth that are in here?
I will dig deep into that. I mean, the one thing I do know is the domeki rig is a small window. A lot of people are saying, hey, I know how to catch them up there. I'm going to go with a domeki rig. Every one of the locals, I talked to Mullins about it this morning. I said, hey, in a month, can you do this? And he said, no, this is a 40-degree water temperature. I mean, you can catch some of them, but he said for the most part, they catch them on that domeki rig in a very, very small window. And then I think it gets a lot more traditional as we move into the summer. But I will do a little bit more research and find out how it changes as the season moves on. But as we've seen this week, I mean, it is a domeki rig dominated event.
Tommy and I have been talking all morning long as several of the texts that we've got with Jacob Wheeler from yesterday and Dustin Connell. Dave, what are your thoughts on that, that pure gold entertainment that we got to watch yesterday?
Bizarre, peculiar, strange. I mean, these are all adjectives that you can use. And I talked to Jacob about it this morning at takeoff, and I said, well, what is your take on it? And I used the analogy that you guys were using on live yesterday. One of the viewers, I think, sent you feedback from Gibbs Racing and said, hey, in NASCAR, if Jimmy Johnson blows his motor, he can't jump in another guy's car. And I asked Jacob about that and what his take on it was. He said, hey, I read the rules. He says, I pay attention to the rules. He says, I've heard it for a lot of Elite Series pros that they didn't even know that was an option. And Jacob just basically said, hey, it's not my fault that I pay attention to the rules, and people have to pay attention more to the rules, and that's his take on it. And one of his advantages, he said, coming into this, knowing he's basically doing the same job as he did over at FLW, but he's working in a new factory. And he said he spent an immense amount of time studying the rules to know where he could have advantages if anything went wrong for him. So kudos to Wheeler. I mean, it was a little strange, a little weird, but kudos to him for his very first Elite Series or regular season Elite Series
Absolutely
event.
right.
Hey, that is one thing that
he knew rules that some of our pros did not know.
Absolutely. That is the one thing that I've talked to Davey Hite about this. Win or lose, he has had one of the biggest highs and lows with mechanical issues and blah, blah, blah the whole week. But here's where you have to give him credit. Besides being mechanically one of the most sound anglers that, look, he is solid.
Oh, yeah.
You have to give him an amount of credit that he does a lot of homework in so many ways and takes advantage of those. He completely played by the rules.
Absolutely. And you before this tournament started, you said this guy, don't underestimate his intelligence. He is smart as a whip.
Here's one thing I'm going to tell you about who you're watching right there, Jacob Wheeler. And Dave, you can hit on this. Jacob Wheeler is incredibly intelligent.
I mean, Jacob Wheeler is doing what he is meant to do. I think everybody on earth has a job that they're meant to do, no matter what that job is. And Jacob Wheeler treats this like a job, and there's no, he makes sure he has every advantage going into an event. I mean, we're talking about a guy who spent 13 days pre-fishing this, and a lot of people will say, well, hey, I wish I had 13 days, and then I'd be doing what Wheeler's doing. He's made sacrifices in his life to make this kind of commitment. I mean, his life, at this point in his life, it basically is consumed by one thing: winning bass tournaments. And, that's what he is driven to do, and basically puts in an incredible amount of work. And we've seen it, pay off. But a roller coaster week. I mean, he's gone from having boat problems. He's gone from having waypoints, having 13 days worth of waypoints, losing them all, finding some of them again, getting in another person's boat, bringing some of those waypoints with him, having some more boat problems. Hopefully his championship Sunday goes a little smoother.
Is there a rumor that he was in the lobby at the hotel watching a rerun of Cops with Dustin Connell this morning?
All right, come on.
I don't know.
That's not.
I don't know.
They wouldn't know about that. Dave's got work to do. Dave, I'm going to rely on your networking ability. This guy, Jamie Hartman, I mean, it's a fascinating story. Unfortunately, we just don't know him as well. We haven't been able to hang around with him and everything. I mean, he threw it all away to join the circus, to be a gypsy out here bass fishing. And man, he has got to feel good about that decision today.
incredibly good. And I talked to him about that this morning, even off the mic. And I said to him, just how much of your, how important is this to you at this point in your life? Are you just here, you qualified and you just kind of kicking it through to see if I can make it on the elites? He laughed and he said, no way. He says, I'm here to stay. He has sacrificed everything in his life to make it here. And he is you're going to see him a lot this year. I mean, he's from New York. He is an incredible smallmouth angler. So look out for him when we head to Champlain, Waddington, St. Clair. I don't think this is the only time we're going to be seeing Jamie Hartman this year. And I can't stress how incredible what happened this morning was. I mean, you look at our takeoff, you have 3 anglers. Jacob Wheeler not in our Rookie of the Year race, but he's fishing his first regular season Elite Series event. Hartman and, of course, Jesse Wiggins, the top 3 fishing their first Elite Series event. Generally, I mean, if you make the top 50 in your first Elite Series event, you're rolling out of town feeling pretty good about yourself. But these guys have set the bar a whole lot higher. And our rookie class, I'm going to go on record and say it, guys. I mean, we have had higher touted rookie classes. We've had groups of anglers that, big names come over to the Elite Series, and some of these names in our rookie class you may not have known before this weekend, a Jesse Wiggins, a Jamie Hartman. But I'm going to say, by far, from what I've seen here this week, we have our strongest rookie class ever. I mean, 7 out of the 11 have already made a 50 cut, which is astonishing to me.
Jesse Wiggins is a guy, another one of these rookies, but we knew a little more about him just because of his tremendous exploits, in his brief career so far. 2 wins already with the Bassmasters. Have you noticed when you talk to people who've come out to the weigh-ins, has he drawn some people himself there? Because he's gotten a big share of the coverage and he's earned every minute of it. I'm just wondering if he's starting to resonate with some of the fans already.
Already. I mean, it's a Cinderella story, Tommy. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that we working at Bassmaster Live dream of, because we don't have to make anything up or make it dramatic. I mean, the dude is fishing his first Elite. He's a rookie. I mean, when I announced him yesterday and I started rolling out all those credits that he has to his name, no matter what he does for the rest of his life, could you imagine that, just being able to say, at one point in my life, and when this isn't a hokey thing where, a guy like me will say, well, I led that tournament because I happened to catch the first one in the morning, so for a while I was leading. But he can say, at one point in my life, I led everything. He's leading the Southern Open's Angler of the Year. He's already qualified for 2 Classics, hasn't even fished one. He's leading the Angler of the Year here. He's leading the Rookie of the Year, and he's leading this event. He is leading everything that Bass has right now.
The other side of it, and we've talked about this a little bit through take all that aside. Take all of that aside, all of his accomplishments for the short duration. He's a good kid, Dave.
A super good dude, and very, very down to earth, and reminds me of, Overstreet the other day, he mentioned it, and after he mentioned it, I have really started to watch it and see it more and more. He's like Greg Hackney. He's kind of got that same swag to him in the way that he's got I believe he has an incredible natural ability to find and catch fish, and he's just not one of those glitz and glamour guys, but he is going to catch them all season long. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because of how he's doing here, just watching how he's reacted to pressure, to adversities, to crowds. I mean, it really is. It's like he's a rookie, but he looks a lot like a veteran. I mean, if you didn't know anything about the Bassmaster Elite Series and somebody said to you, yeah, that dude right over there, that's Greg Hackney. He won Angler of the Year. You would believe it about Jamie Hartman or about Jesse Wiggins just because that's how he carries himself. I mean, he's very calm, cool, and collected, and also rocks an incredible beard, just like Hackney.
I thought the connection to Hackney that you were going to go, that he's a hostile loner that slinks around like a possum. So I'm sorry.
That's not fair to anybody.
True. No, it's very
that's
true.
Not fair to anybody. Dave, now let me ask you this.
I will pay attention as the Elite Series carries on this season and see if he does become that.
Any word yet from R.J. Mitty about any movie possibilities for you? I mean,
good point.
You were really kind of stressing the point that you really need that sort of opportunity.
Yeah, hold on. Wait, Tommy, correct me if I'm wrong. It almost looked like to me, correct me, and you please
okay,
do.
I will.
It almost looked, and look, I starred in Bait Shop.
You did.
It looked like
you were a
had
shining star.
It looked like you had a slight major man crush on our friend R.J. Mitty. I don't know.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, we were. I'm not supposed to say anything, but we were up late last night rehearsing some roles. Rumor has it that we may be making Step Brothers together, a remake, me and him together. We'll see how it works. I don't know.
Well, keep us up on that. When that movie drops, that new movie drops, we need to know about it, right?
Apple TVs.
Trust me, you will know about it.
Jamie Hartman hooked up again. Watch this.
Oh, Tommy.
Yeah, buddy. Whew, look at that fine specimen right there. Oh, yeah, porker. Oh, man. Dang. We're calling, baby. We're calling. A little bit of an upgrade.
Keep your eye on this guy. Dave, you know, Jamie Hartman, he's hanging in there. He's not going to let Jesse Wiggins run away with this. Plus, he's a guy that's got a little largemouth stretch that he's been hitting each and every day. So is that going to be an X factor?
To me, that's one of the scariest things. He broke off a good one yesterday on his largemouth stretch, and between Fighter, Hartman, and Wiggins, ball game not done yet.
Not at all. I mean, anybody can upset the apple cart at any point, even in the last hour.
I asked Jamie this morning, guys. You're in second place. Got to be pretty happy, no matter what happens here. I mean, even if he didn't catch a fish today and dropped to 12th, top 12 in your first Elite Series event is pretty incredible. And I asked him, I said, are you happy? Are you satisfied? He said, no, I'm not satisfied at all. He is very aware of how rare the opportunity he has here today. Going out in second place, he knows that it may be his first Elite Series event, but he says, this may not happen for the rest of the year. I may not have this opportunity. And both Hartman and Wiggins said this to me. They said, we both look at this no different than a Tuesday night jackpot tournament. And I said, how can you look at it like that? And they said, well, it's the exact same. You still have to catch the 5 biggest fish. And that's how their mindset is. So these guys are somehow able to block out all those nerves and jitters we have seen from Elite Series rookies in the past and look at it like a Tuesday night jackpot tournament. And I said, hey, it may be like a Tuesday night jackpot tournament, but it's a lot cooler on Monday when you roll into your banker and drop on that check. And they said, yeah. And when that happens, I'll start thinking about it. But for right now, I just want to get the next bite.
Well, Dave, you know, this guy, I'm sure you're kind of familiar with him, kind of from up in your part of the world, but you look past, if he can just do middling, just kind of middling work through the next 4 or 5 events and get to those 3 smallmouth or at least northern type fishing situations at the end of the thing, he'll be in good shape to points-wise to have a shot at making the Classic, right?
Oh, I think he's going to be in excellent shape. I mean, you look at all the northern bodies of water that we head to that have smallmouth. There's an incredible amount of smallmouth events throughout this year, and you look at that. I think, you know, if we can make it through, you know, like you said, the next 3 events, and then we start heading further north, and then never mind if he gets into the Angler of the Year Championship on Mille Lacs, Seth Fighter may be in trouble because this guy is a smallmouth stud.
And really, very fair to say, Seth Fighter also falls in that bracket too.
Sure.
Look, this tournament's set up in his wheelhouse as well as the tournaments when we go back up north. But Seth Fighter has got to prove he is here when we go to the Ross Barnetts and we go to the Toledo Bends and Okeechobees and the big bass events.
All right. Got to take a break, guys. Thank you, Dave, so much. We'll be back with you. I know you've already teased some good guests coming up, and we'll be talking with Dave Mercer a little bit later on. Dave's going to be heading up the weigh-in, coming up there from the Convention Center in Knoxville later today, about 4:15 Eastern Time. Yes! We'll be here on Bassmaster.com.
That's it right there, dude.
Plenty more meanwhile for you on.
Thank you.
Hey, about 4 hours left of coverage on Bassmaster Live. Doing like we did the last 2 days. We're going to take a break right in the midday after the next half hour is done, and then we'll come back and take you very close to the end of
and it is the biggest one yet.
We can do.
Yes.
Continually proven on the tournament trail and with Skeeter owners everywhere with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
The competition is fierce and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at Bassmasterfantasy.com.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
Bassmaster Live, another 30 minutes alive to go before we take our midday break. I'm going to hang with Jesse Wiggins, who's about this time every day, he's starting to think about wrapping things up, at least the first 3 days of this tournament. He'll be at it all day today.
Exactly right, Tommy. And I think one of the cool things, at least that we've all been waiting for here in the studio, is to see what potential he can have in this spot, leaning on it.
Yeah, for another 6
day.
hours, yeah.
Because if it's like a lot of the other spots or anglers that we've covered, except for Fighter and Wheeler, after 9 o'clock, it's kind of done.
Yeah, it's the same result either way.
Tommy, I don't want to sound rude, but this may
it's too late for that.
Can you feed me, please?
Dixie Peck trivia? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't mean
Absolutely,
to be rude,
sir.
you,
How about
Tommy.
this one?
I don't like you, I love you.
Check it out.
Whoa!
What profession will Jesse Wiggins be leaving to fish full time?
No, I know this. We covered it.
Now, wait, not everybody's been with us. Every minute, it's a constantly changing audience. Was he, or will he not be formerly a marina manager, a respiratory therapist, a DirecTV installer, or an EMT dispatcher?
You've read the story.
You don't know. You don't get to guess.
I don't
you
get
don't
to
get
guess.
to. You don't.
But
Get to
I would
guess.
like to ask him. I'd like his cameraman to ask him if he's gonna work this week.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Have Brian lay it on him. Let's get the answer from Brian. Can we do it that way? Well, we're going to get the answer this way. You're a respiratory therapist, exactly.
I'd like, yeah. Is he
Work
gonna...
at several hospitals in the region.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, those
shifts.
guys can work things out where they sort of can set their own hours in some situations. So that's probably worked out for him so far. He wins this one. I'm wondering how many hours he's gonna be scheduling himself in for in the weeks and months to come.
I'll take myself a little time out.
Well, I was full-time respiratory therapist, which I take care of people that have COPD, all that, emphysema, all that good stuff. I do breathing treatments. When people get put on a breathing machine, a ventilator, I take care of that part. But yeah, that's what I did for since 2011, and that's the first job, really decent paying job I had. So I did that for about a year, and I saved up enough money to buy a boat. Right. And I bought my boat and just fished local stuff and kept working. And but yeah, that's what I did. And then, like 2 weeks before the practice started for this tournament, I put in my notice to quit full time and stay on PRN, which means that I just work when I can and when they need someone. So. Right.
That's a good gig.
Yeah.
That's a good gig.
Yeah, he's
But it was I just wanted something to get a degree quick that paid decent, and I could still fish a lot. I worked 12-hour shifts, so I only worked 3 days a week when I didn't work overtime, so I was able to fish a good bit.
Is that going to be a little depressing for some people to hear that his pro story dates all the way back to 2011?
If I can figure out how to catch a couple more biggins, I get to fish a whole lot more. Because this is not looking good.
All right. Mind Jamie Hartman on the left there. Just right behind Jesse Wiggins, as is Seth Fighter. Service is spotty and will be
good one.
That spot all day, but that's all you need to see right there.
Good one right there for Jamie Hartman.
Got to put up with it a little bit just to stay on top of the story and gladly do it.
That's for sure.
Oh, it's going to be so close by the end of the day.
Jesse Wiggins talked there, and you heard it creeping into his conversation there. This is starting to get a little scratchy in this area.
That ain't good, man. I ain't seen much of nothing that time.
He's absolutely going to need another call today. You heard him talk to his cameraman, Brian Mason, and said, I need to get rid of, for sure, 1 or 2 more.
About an hour ago, we saw him catch, by his admission, his biggest fish of the tournament.
Come on, baby, I need you to bite.
Who's your pick at Okeechobee?
A couple of them right there.
My pick at Okeechobee.
Yes, sir.
You know, I haven't really developed one yet.
Such?
Chris Lane will come back.
Who's that?
Chris Lane.
Okay. Solid.
About you?
I went with Tharp. I went with Tharp. I'm going to tell you who I think
of. Baby, come on.
We talked about him earlier. I think Hackney will be a headache.
Yeah, there's all over it. And they just won't eat it.
Interesting we're going to get into to another Humminbird lay of the lake. This is really cool what Davey just got us. That David Mullins has push-pulled himself into a pond and is all alone in an area. And I'm going to try to send this. I'm going to send this to the production trailer, Tommy.
Yeah. See if we can get some more info on that, maybe some pictures or something like that. Humminbird lay of the lake. Take a look at what our guys are, well, how they're laying out here on Cherokee. Again, 40, 50 miles worth of this lake available. Most of the action, though, concentrated farther south than west is Jacob Wheeler, right in the middle of the lake, as you've mentioned many times. That's a sweet spot.
And that was really coming into this tournament. That's what David Mullen said. He said there's going to be one key, really 4 to 6 mile stretch. And I asked him, I said, can you tell me what that is? He said, there's no reason to. When you all put up your mapping and your tracker of the leaders, you're going to be able to know exactly the most productive part of Cherokee Lake. And he said history really goes by that. A lot of the tournaments are won really within 15 miles of the dam, applying to the smallmouth. See Josh Bertrand, Paul Mueller with a really solid event. And then you start to fly up the lake where, well, we got to cover Cliff Crochet the first day. David Fritz having a solid tournament upriver. I believe that is where A1 Randall Tharp has been this event.
Concentrating on the largemouth. We saw Ott Defo among that group in mid-lake was the furthest back up in a creek, and now we get the word about David Mullins pushing into push-pulling his way into an isolated place. The locals are starting to play all their cards and lay them all out on the table here.
They called a sneak hole from Jacob Wheeler.
A sneak hole. You don't have a sneak hole.
Exactly right. As we go up into more of the river system here of Cherokee Lake, on our Humminbird lay of the lake, Ron Moore just texted in and said, hey, my pick, just so you know, is Russ Lane for Lake Okeechobee.
Well, see, you said the veteran names are going to pop up. I wouldn't even rule out a Shaw Grigsby down there.
Okay.
I would not rule out a Shaw Grigsby. If you're going to go veteran, go full veteran.
We're heading up the lake here at Cherokee Lake.
Two waterways, though, as you can see there, basically a regular reservoir and a river environment.
I'm telling you right now, you mark my words. Put this on camera so you can record. Put this on deal, because I'm telling you, for on the record, we are going to bust a bag of them right there before this day is over. I'm just telling y'all, they ain't biting right now, but we are going to bust a bag of them.
God, man, I know it's... That was a good chance right there.
How'd that one sound? That'd be good. That'd be good stuff if it actually does happen. And if it doesn't, we just don't use it. There you go.
Triton on the line time. That means we're going to dial up, since we're on the lake here, we're dialing up Davey Hite. Absolutely, Davey. Where are you right now? They didn't prep us on your location.
I'm on dry land, Tommy. You know, I've been asked this week probably 100 times, are you missing it? And, you know, I've had mixed answers, but I'm missing it right now. David Mullins is pulling out of his hat the kind of stuff that you just live for in tournament fishing. I asked him early in the week, I said, you saving some stuff? He said, yeah. He said, but one of them was the place that Jesse Wiggins is fishing, so obviously that's gone. But this place he knew nobody would get into. There's a small entrance over here to our right that he had to push pole. And when you think of push pole, you think shallow, silted, grassy area. He push-poled over some rocks to get into this pond, and he's back here all alone in this pond. And the cool thing, when we were watching him come in, actually his brother is in a boat following him around along with some other people following him around, and you know, he's a local favorite for sure. But his brother said, we really hate to give this place away, that he's won several tournaments in here. One time came in here on the exact same conditions and caught 20 pounds just in this pond. So very, very interesting stuff going on in here.
Davey, have you seen any fish catches yet since he's been in there?
No, but he hasn't been in here very long, and he picked up a jerk bait and went around the bank just for about 100 yards. He's just now got out and started fishing vertically. You know, this is a cool place. It's about 30 feet down in the center of this pond that I guarantee you no one's been in here. I did have to ask him if Jacob Wheeler came in here, would they be able to share this pond, and he didn't answer.
Oh, no, wait, okay. All right, we'll see if that happens.
Yes.
Something else to keep in the back of your mind right there. Now, where basically, roughly on the lake are we talking about right there? We don't have that located on the map just yet.
We're right across from Panther Creek, right in the center. You know, these islands run right down the center of this lake. We're close to Panther Creek.
Hey, Davey, real quick, and Mullins made this comment. We've been talking about it on all of our Humminbird Lay of the Lake maps. We've been talking about that obvious 3 to 5 mile stretch that a lot of our leaders are in around those islands just up from the dam. Why Why has that been the major player compared to the surrounding water around it?
That's a great question. When I saw these islands in the middle of this lake, it reminded me of Thousand Islands, Waterston, New York, where we fish the St. Lawrence River. And those smallmouth love those current breaks and those current changes. And these islands, these high spots, these islands, these ponds, all that makes that current move differently than it does where you don't have the islands and just straight stretches of the lake. So I think it's definitely a key that you got these islands because all the current breaks and the changes in the current.
Davey, you talk about seeing stuff like this makes you miss the game just a little bit more. Let me throw it to you again. Have you ever had a tournament before where you kept a little ace up the sleeve and you pulled it out on the last day, tried to make something big time happen?
Yeah, I have. I was talking to some of the fishermen yesterday, and I said, the top guys, I said, it's great to be leading, but I always like to be just a little bit behind. You don't want to be way out where you have to have a miracle stringer to win, but it's best to be just a little behind the radar. David Mullins knows a lot about this lake. He doesn't have a camera with him. That's why we stayed with him a lot, and I think he's in a good position to pull it out. Unfortunately, Jesse Wiggins just hasn't given anybody any room to move in on him. I mean, he's just held command of that lead the whole tournament.
Well, thanks for being on top of that, Davey. We're gonna be checking with you frequently on that should something develop there.
Not only that, I'd like the next phone call, the next Triton on the line call with Davey. I want to know all of his different answers he's given that he alluded to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, that's definitely. Yeah, don't forget to ask that. Replay of the day, our Power Pole replay of the day. Hey, we need to hit that for you. And of course,
for you, Mama. How about that right there now? Woo!
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Jesse Wiggins.
Not as much lights out as it's been every single day, but still.
Oh my gosh, please, baby. I got it hooked good. Oh, it's the biggest one of the tournament. That's for you, Mama. How about that right there now? Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Number 5, and it is the biggest one yet, 4-pounder. That's for you, Mama. Thank you.
Yeah, man. He's got that one. Unfortunately, he's got a couple of little ones left in that box. He's not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination.
Things have definitely slowed down in his area. That's what, like we said, we've been wondering all week. Will he be able to capitalize on that late day bite like every other one of our leaders that we're with? Hartman, Fighter, Wheeler, all catching up. Well, look, Wheeler, when he was in his team situation yesterday with Connell.
Yeah, caught a 4-pounder.
A 3 3/4 and a 4.
Yeah.
All that thing's.
Jamie Hartman, they're just almost a virtual tie with Jesse Wiggins right now. Look at unofficial numbers.
Looking at all guys that put in serious pre-practice time. Big time practice coming into this tournament. You think there's guys that are leaving here saying, wow, should have went up there before Christmas and grinded for 5 or 6 days.
Need to tighten it up a little bit.
Tighten up a little bit, See, I don't think you're going to see that on an Okeechobee where there's so much history. We've been there so many times. Other places that we go to, like Rayburn or Toledo Bend, but it's these
in here
bodies of water like this that we don't
there's one
have.
left. There was like 50 on the graph this morning.
Could look at Winyah Bay like that last year.
I know it's dead, but still. Just trick one time. Come on.
That's a great example. When you have the guy with the most hours on that water, the one who won it.
I'm sure there's the other side of the story, though, that I'm sure there's a lot of guys that came here and grinded and put in a lot of pre-practice that didn't have this result too. So you got to look at both sides of that.
I'm surprised that's the first time I've done that all week.
Got a tweet asking, somebody's really anxious to see if Wiggins fishing that will bite later in the afternoon. And didn't he even mention yesterday that they're becoming a little wary of his presentation?
I mentioned it today. This morning. Yeah, talked about it today.
Yeah.
Wiggins, Hartman, they all talked about that.
These fish get educated, or they just...
There's no doubt.
They get rattled.
There's no doubt they get educated on every one of our anglers. Sure.
Well, more sitting on one particular spot. Some other people are moving a little bit.
Tell me, we're going to take us a little baby time out.
We do, as we have each day so far, these 3 days of Bassmaster Live. We'll take a break, an hour and a half. The weigh-in coming up, Bassmaster.com here right around 4 o'clock this afternoon from Knoxville. That's 4 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be back here with you in an hour and a half. What we have seen today so far is things tightening up. It just gets closer. You get that feeling it's going to be an ounce or two separating first and second place.
Well, I want to see if one of these guys pull the cord and just go largemouth fishing for 3 hours.
Well, we're watching.
It would take nerve, Tommy.
11:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's when we come back with you there and take you all the way to 2:30. That's close to the end of fishing time. We're going to see if that happens, Mark Zona, what you're talking about. I suspect you might be right. 4 p.m. Eastern time. Dave Mercer's going to weigh him up. Our 12 guys will take to the stage. Yeah, how about that right there? Will that be enough?
Mercer is actually having lunch right now with RJ Mitty. Sorry.
Working on that movie deal. Hey, we'll be back with a fishing deal here in about